Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Team Venom Wrestling Podcast. I'm your host, Rory Bailey, joined by my co-host, Connor Franks. Connor,
Hello.
how the devil are you? It's the first time we've done one of these in 2025. How's things?
It is. We've took an extended break. It's been lovely. Um, a lot has changed in the wrestling world since
Yeah,
we have last recorded. There's wrestling on Netflix.
yeah,
People believe in the TNA World Champion.
yeah,
There's a TNA WWE partnership. There's a Royal Rumble, 10, 20-ish days from the time of
yeah.
recording.
There's Saturday
There's a
night's main
lot.
event next week.
I don't care. I don't care.
I know.
After the last one with the constant adverts, I don't care.
Yeah, I know what you mean.
Also,
I
hosting a
enjoyed.
Saturday night's main event this close to the Rumble is just pointless.
I think the logic behind it is that, as we've seen since the start of the year, well, with a lot of the PLEs last year, as well as how Raw's been from the start of the year, they seem to be having like a less is more for the matches and such. And I think it's a good approach doing it like that. But I think Saturday night main event's been put close to the Rumble so that certain matches can't happen at the Rumble because of time. So they've got like an extra bonus or something. That's my assumption with it, because obviously the World Heavyweight Championship's being defended at Saturday night's main event, and as well as the Intercontinental title, isn't it? I
Yeah,
don't know any of the other matches, but yeah, that was my assumption, that it was down to the less is more thing that they're doing, which, some of the stuff that they've done this year so far, like the first Netflix Raw, for example. They only had the four matches, but it didn't feel like there was only four matches because all of a sudden 3 hours were over. So I've appreciated that, and yeah,
that first Raw of the year was incredible. It really
mm,
was.
indeed,
It felt like a main PLE level show. Um,
yeah. Obviously, while I remember, it's just occurred to me that I haven't said the subject for this week's episode, which is basically just an update in general of WWE on Netflix mainly, and that sort of thing, because lots of stuff's gone on there, and because we're in the UK, we've essentially got the bulk of the WWE network has ported to Netflix. So we're just going to talk about some of the live shows that we've seen on there and some of the stuff that we've thrown back to. So yeah, so like you say, that first Raw was awesome. So might as well dive into that first, don't we?
yeah, I mean, it was. I was I was shocked to see the tribal combat match starting, but I also understand it
Yeah,
from a business perspective. They've got a lot of new eyes on the show on Netflix now, so we let's start it off with The Rock and then let's go straight into this big holy shit level
yeah,
of what goes on in the match. So I get that. Um, I was doubtful, but then that Seth Punk main event really, I was like, yep, that is main event.
yeah.
That
That's Seth Punk thing, where obviously because we were denied it for WrestleMania last year due to Punk's injury and everything. That was definitely Mania level match, I
without a
think.
doubt. Without
Yeah,
a doubt. I think it's it was mania level, and I'm kind of sad that we might not get that again for a while.
yeah,
Granted, I don't know what you do with Seth in terms of a world title push right now. I don't think he needs it. I don't think Punk needs it.
yeah.
Um,
I don't think either of them need the world title. I mean, Punk, from the storyline perspective of it being his motivation since going back, was one of the things. So you can see why Punk would be going after it. Seth, I don't think needs a world title ever. If he never won the world title again, he's already had a Hall of Fame level career, and he's at that level where he wouldn't need it, sort of thing.
yes.
I'd still be happy with him
Oh,
winning
of
it
course,
again.
yeah.
Don't get me wrong, but yeah, there's certain people that don't need. Like Sami Zayn's an example. He cut a promo on this week's Raw where he mentioned being in the Rumble, like, because a lot of them have announced for that, and I'm sure we'll get around to that as well. But he did the thing of saying that he doesn't need a world title, but he wants one, sort of thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, fair play. Sami Zayn is that level of main eventer now, and you could see him winning it at any point. Great, but he doesn't need it. And the same as Kevin Owens. Although I'd love to see Kevin Owens pick up a proper world title run instead of just carrying the vanity belt thing that he's doing at the moment.
Yeah, he's basically doing the Rocks People champ thing.
Yeah,
I think with Sammy and Kevin this week, they had obviously the
yeah.
altercation. I'd love for them to get a Mania match just for them personally. But I
Didn't we predict that on one of our previous podcasts on this series?
we
Didn't
did
we say
Kevin v
when
Sammy,
we?
yeah.
Yeah,
But I don't want it to be main event. I think I wouldn't be shocked if oh shit. Um in the ladder match, Sammy appears and then go like before he actually, I don't know, maybe he doesn't even get to the ring, but
yeah,
he appears, that, like Kevin said, then goes, oh, what the fuck am I doing?
yeah,
And then walks away. And then in the Rumble, Kevin appears out of nowhere and eliminates Sammy. And then that we get
yeah,
the classic build that way. Because I don't think Kevin will be in the Rumble.
yeah,
Obviously, Sammy's declared, so I feel like that would be the obvious way to get them to Mania. Have Kevin come in,
yeah,
eliminate Sammy, go like 2014 NXT on Sammy, pop up powerbomb onto the ring apron. Sammy's injured for a while, and then like 3-4 weeks before Mania, Sammy comes back, and then that's how that gets built. That's what I want to
yeah.
see. The Rumble this year, I don't even know who the fuck could win it.
Yeah, I know.
Genuinely, normally
Um,
there's like two or three that you go, it's probably going to be these. I genuinely can't.
it's
I
even though
can.
they don't need neither of them need it, but I would be happy with either of them. Orton and Cena, I think, are my top two picks.
I would
Just
love
depending on what way they're going with Cody.
Orton to win it if it means Orton beats Cody at Mania, and then maybe SummerSlam or something we get Cena Orton.
Yeah,
I'd love Cena to win it and then win either of them at Mania. I don't really want Punk to win it, but I'm also not a huge Punk fan. I feel like I think he's going to get one of the two main events regardless.
yeah.
So I feel like, that's
I could
fine.
see Punk versus Jumper being a thing if they need it.
Yeah. Um, who else is in the Rumble? Jey Uso, not going to do anything.
It's a
Uh,
stacked Rumble so far, aren't they? They've announced like a third of the competitors,
I know, and they
which
need to
is
stop.
always disheartening.
They need to
Like,
stop.
but
Like, announce like
yeah,
8 huge names or something that are on the roster. Fine. But then stop. Because then they start
yeah.
announcing people who is like
Because I mean, we've
Michael
got
Michael Cole on commentary will start being like, and
yeah.
I've
No,
just
I know what you
received
mean. It's
word Cruz del Toro is in the Rumble. And everyone's like, who fucking cares? Like, just let that be a 3-2.
yeah,
Oh, it's Cruz del Toro. Who's next? Do you know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
it was like, what, 3 years ago or something, where they essentially announced every member of the Rumble.
Everyone.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. Wasn't that the year that Cody won?
Yeah, the first
And
one.
then lost at Mania. Didn't they announce
Yeah,
everyone in that Rumble?
I
Yeah,
think so. It was either
because
that one or
that
the
one
one
was lacking
before.
star power.
Yeah.
Yeah, but there was one Rumble where there was like you're like yeah, there's two guys that could conceivably win this, and
Yeah.
then one of those two guys won. Whereas
The other
this
guy came
year,
second.
I think yeah, well yeah. Whereas this year they've gone right. We're putting Cena, Roman, Punk, Seth, Drew. All five of those could win. And by default, straight away, you know what I mean? Seth versus Cody could happen logically because of Seth helping Cody last year and it costed him the world title. You could have, do you know what I mean? Seth could win the Rumble and go after Cody for that reason. Drew could win the Rumble because he's more focused on himself and not blaming others at the moment. That's sort of
That's
winding
lovely.
down a bit. Yeah. So Drew could win, and then go on to face. I mean, Drew Gunford would be great, but I think it would be Drew. Drew would go after Cody if anybody, because of the same logic of Kevin Owens at the moment. Of yeah, well, you teamed with Roman, fuck off,
Mm.
sort of
Yeah,
thing.
yeah.
You know that sort of thing that a bunch of them are doing. Um, yeah, and who else did I mention? Yeah, so Seth Punk, Drew, definitely. And it's Cena I could see win because it's Cena and it's
Yeah.
his last Mania. So him main event in the last Mania, I think would be awesome. I could see that happening.
I have a question about Cena
Roman,
in the Rumble.
I could see. Yeah,
If it's you booking the Rumble, ignore winners
yeah,
and entrants and all that like surprises. If you're booking the Rumble and John Cena's there for his last Rumble, do you have him as the Iron Man?
yeah,
I think I would personally have him come out first, and if he's gonna get eliminated,
yeah.
let him be eliminated like
Like last
fourth from
four or something.
last. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
Yeah, the Rumble's exciting this year.
yeah, yeah. I'm really looking forward to it.
It's gonna be very good.
And the bonus of Netflix makes it ever so much better. Hence, the subject of this, the amount of stuff I've been binge watching over the last few weeks purely because of it's there. And I know I've had like the WWE network on and off, but it's the network was too much, if you know what I mean.
Yeah,
So whereas the Netflix thing, obviously having Raw and SmackDown and NXT as they happen, massive bonus because that didn't happen on the network. Um, so it's like the first time in years where I can genuinely say I've attempted to watch Raw, SmackDown, and NXT live for 3 weeks in a row. Like that. Do you know what I mean? I'm
yeah,
quite chuffed with that. So no, I use the word attempted because do you remember my frustration last week when Netflix cut out in the middle of the Pentagon match?
yeah,
So, got 38 minutes into Raw, he just went, no more, mate. And that was it. It didn't work until the morning. I ended up watching it on a delay on my phone instead. So, but I
yeah.
still watched it like within half an hour or so of it happening. So yeah,
Excuse me. Me and Hannah watched it last night, and then
yeah,
it finished at about 10 past 4 in the morning, and then we were up at 6:30 for the school run because parenthood. Um, but I really hope Penta's in the Rumble. I think Penta in the Rumble will be next level. There's uh there's something that I kind of want to happen between Penta and Braun.
yeah,
I feel like that's in long-term storytelling. I don't want that to happen very quickly. That's something I want to be played out in the long run. But Penta in the Rumble would be very good.
yeah,
Let the Rumble be the place where we get a altercation between Rey and Penta, and then
yeah,
that's it. That's the only confrontation they have. Let it be in the Rumble, and then we avoid the stereotypical Mexican slash luchador comes in and either teams or fights Rey, and we're away
yeah,
from that. Let them have an altercation, or don't even do that. Have them be like in the Rumble. Penta and Ray end up being the only two people standing up. They're face to face. Looks like they're gonna go
yeah.
at it. The crowd starts cheering, and then Bron Breakker just fucking clotheslines Penta, clotheslines Ray, throws Ray out. We know we're not
Yeah.
getting it. Fuck that.
That that would be beautiful.
Yeah, Penta would be great in there. In terms of other things have happened, I know we discussed this privately. In the women's, I think we're getting the official WWE
Yeah,
debut of Jordan Grace. I know she was in the Rumble as TNA champ, but I think she's going to be WWE superstar signed Jordan Grace.
yeah,
Whether they announce, they probably won't announce the sign until after the Rumble, which would make sense. But I think that's where we get her. I would love to see Joe Hendry. Now he is
yeah,
world champ and that TNA deal's done. I would be interested to see Nick Nemeth,
yeah,
but I'd be also interested to see which way they go about it.
yeah. If he comes out as nickname for Dolph Ziggler. Yeah,
Yeah, if I think the logical way to do it would be three, two, one. I'm here to show the world. Zips sound and then his TNA name.
yeah,
And so everyone goes, "Oh shit, Dolph! Oh, Dolph new theme. Oh, it's still Dolph, but it's
yeah.
not like look because not everyone is watching TNA. The
Although
mainstream.
They've been doing some really good fucking crowds over the last few months. Especially, did you see the crowd for Genesis?
Yeah, I actually watched Genesis. Genesis was very
Yeah,
good.
yeah, I
Their
loved them.
crowd was great, but I feel like Rumble and Mania are the ones where you get the most casuals in attendance.
Yes,
So I feel like because the Rumble is such a, we could be losing our shit in our living room, but if you watch a Rumble back in a few years,
yeah,
and even though there's someone who, people like us know massively, if there's a large portion of casual fans who don't pop, like
yeah,
AJ because of the camera work, for example,
yeah,
right? You watch that back and it's painful.
yeah,
So bad camera work or a quiet crowd can really ruin like someone's Rumble appearance.
yeah. Or a match. Yeah,
Yeah,
it's just like in general. I mean, AJ versus Shinsuke Nakamura at WrestleMania is a prime example of that because the crowd had gone through 7 hours of wrestling at that point.
yeah,
Whereas when WWE were doing that right, you've got fan access, you've got NXT, you've got Mania, all on the same day. And so by the time it got to AJ versus Shinsuke, the crowd was just dead,
but
just deflated, and just
wasn't that when they did? It was
the
like
Shinsuke killed them.
no, it was like the last Mania before they went 2 nights or
Yeah, I
something
think
like
so.
that because it was like 2 nights worth of Manias in one night. They really
Yeah,
extended it.
because they were making Manias fucking huge, weren't they, at one point, like in terms of the length of the show. So
Yeah,
yeah, so it's like the 2 nights has definitely been a better format, and like Jey Uso came out with on Raw this week, he's able to call himself a WrestleMania main eventer because he main evented the first night of WrestleMania
yeah,
that time.
exactly.
So it's yeah, it adds
Gunther did
so
not
much
like
to
that.
it. No, he did not like that
He did
indeed.
not like that.
I mean, speaking of Gunther and Jay, do you think we're going to get a Jay title run
No,
this close to Mania?
no.
No,
This is why I don't see the point of Saturday night's main
of
event
Saturday Night Main Event. Yeah,
because I think if you were really going to pull the trigger and make Jey Uso dethrone Gunther, you do it at Mania, no matter where on the card it is. If you're going to have
yeah.
Sheamus finally capture the Intercontinental title,
You'd
you
expect it to be
do it at
Mania,
Mania.
unless Braun wins the Rumble and goes after Gunther.
If that's the case, awesome.
Yeah,
I'm
which
wonderful.
could be a thing because obviously, like I said, there's so many different options for the Rumble this year.
Yeah,
That could be,
exactly. And in
yeah,
the long run, like this year's a bit of a special circumstance because of, like the Cena situation makes it so even though
yeah,
if Cena didn't win, there's a reason I'd want Orton to get his third Rumble win because it could
yeah,
lead to that in Cena's final run. The same with Cena getting, the third Rumble win, etc. But in general, it's the same with Money in the Bank. I firmly believe that 9 out of 10 Rumbles should be about making a new star.
yes,
Because the idea is the
yeah,
Rumble, anybody can win it because all you need to do is not go over the top rope. And yet,
absolutely, yeah,
there's never been a shock. And I feel like that's mental that there hasn't been a single
yeah,
real shock winner since 1988. Do you know what I mean? Since it started. Like, you could argue that the Brett Luger thing was like both of them. It was like, ooh, but they were still main eventers.
yeah.
There's n
Michaels, for example, the first time Michaels won was the shock because he was jumping from intercontinental level, and then he won 95 and then didn't win the title at Mania that year. That was the Michaels Diesel thing.
yeah,
But that wasn't that was more of the shock thing because of how he won. He went over, 1 foot touched the floor, or Bulldog was celebrating. That was good.
yeah,
But that's one occasion that I can think of like that. And then like The Rock winning the Rumble in 2000 didn't need to happen. Triple H winning the Rumble never needed to happen. Austin's first Rumble win was one that was absolutely justified, but completely expected.
yeah,
And then the second Rumble yeah, the second Rumble was to give him the world title match at Mania, and everyone expected it because they'd had the Austin Tyson stuff and all that. Lot. The one the year McMahon won it wasn't expected because everyone expected Austin to win it that year, and he still got the Mania title shot. So, but yeah, so
That's what I mean. If
it's
the concept of
yeah,
it is
Hogan
just
winning multiple times wasn't needed.
no, that's what I mean. The concept is anyone can win it because you just don't go over the top rope. You don't
Yeah.
need to be a good wrestler to win a rumble, right?
Hence, Yokozuna won based on his sheer size because no one could get
Yeah.
him over the rope.
And that was the
Yeah,
last time they ever did that for someone who was big. And then we got Big
yeah.
Show coming in 22 rumbles in a row, and the commentators going, how's anyone gonna get him out? Same way they did the last 21 rumbles. Um,
Fucking Ray's eliminated him on his own. Come on.
yeah. Like,
And Vacant. Vacant did it
yeah,
once.
yeah. Imagine this year though,
Redacted.
out of nowhere, Finn Balor wins the Rumble. Like out of
Yeah,
nowhere. Because that's
that'd be
how a
awesome.
Rumble should be. I
Yeah,
understand if you start doing that every year, then people just go, all right, who's the most unlikely to win it? Because that's probably going to happen. But there needs to
yeah,
be every now and then, there needs to be I think there's just got to be somebody who out of nowhere just, they win it and you go, what the fuck just happened? Like,
yeah. Bringing Dominic would be an amazing
Dominic
surprise
would be
Rumble
an
winner.
amazing Rumble winner. And then you have him beat whoever out of the two at Mania by like Eddie Guerrero level cheating. Dom not only getting his
Like
first world
literally
title,
roll, like pulling the tights, everything.
oh,
Yeah,
pull it in the tights, have it
feet on
literally
the rope.
be a case of like he Hurricane ran as Gunther, you know, like to the 619 position, and live
Yeah,
twats
and
him with
then
a chair or
grabs
something.
the rope to block. Yeah, yeah, yeah,
Yeah, live twats him with a chair. Dom hits the 619, and like Dom wins that out of just pure cheating, because he's dirty Dom, big heel,
yeah.
and he captures like his first world title at WrestleMania by being like straight up cheating.
I did. Yeah,
Yeah, like
yeah, I did.
I love the Rumble, and it's always the best match of the year in terms of like just pure excitement and enjoyment. But I think there needs to be some changes, and I think if we're gonna get them, it's gonna be now. Like, well, not this, maybe not this
Yeah,
Rumble, but excuse me, I mean, from now with current creative. But I think there is, I can't pick a winner this year, which is good.
yeah,
But I also think there's like six names who it's probably going to be, if that makes sense.
yeah,
Like logically,
yeah,
there are many people who would win it, and I'd go, I get it, but I feel like it's
yeah,
gonna be a handful.
yeah, yeah. Um, they could shock everyone. Although I couldn't see this. I don't see this happening at all. But imagine if someone from TNA randomly wins the Rumble.
Oh, that'd be incredible.
that that would be incredible. But I don't think there's anyone that could. Maybe Nick Nemeth as a thing of getting Nick Nemeth Gunther or something at Mania for the world title. But I don't know.
Who would really throw off WWE fans from TNA? Johnny Swinger.
Santino.
Oh my
Santino
God,
gets
we're gonna
finally
get
gets his
Santino,
Rumble
aren't
win.
we? We're getting Santino in the Rumble.
Oh, I hope so.
I f
We might get Jeff Hardy as well. I think either Jeff or Matt
Yep. I,
with the TNA tag title. And
yeah,
maybe both of them come out and one of them's in the Rumble and the other one's at
yeah.
ringside or whatever.
Honestly, right. The fact I got to witness in 2024 Santino Marella hitting a Cobra on Frankie Kazarian is up there.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, we could do an entire
Oh,
pod on the Rumble, but it's
I've had a thing for something. That's true. But one thing that would be awesome, right? So obviously, a lot of our listeners, there's all seven of them, might not have been following TNA recently, but they've had the thing of Joe Hendry's just won the world championship, which is awesome. Really great to see that Joe Hendry's champ. Kazarian's been doing his thing of trying to do his call your shot thing for a while. So if you've got Santino in the Rumble and you've got Hendry in the Rumble,
Kaz calls
how
his shot in the
mental
Rumble.
how mental would that be if you had a mini TNA title match in the middle of the Rumble match itself? I can't. They wouldn't do it, but like that would be amazing if they were. Oh, Kazarian's here to call this shot and and go after Joe Hendry's championship in the Rumble match, and he's won it. Kazarian wins the TNA title in the Royal Rumble and fucks off.
I mean, that would be history making.
It would. So yeah, it depends on
Oh, what
how
would they
all that
do?
WWE.
Say that happens, right? Santino entered the Rumble, Hendry's entered
Yeah,
the Rumble, Kaz has entered the Rumble.
Yeah,
Kaz
because
does,
Taz has appeared on NXT,
yeah,
so
Kaz
they've
calls
already
his
been
shot in the Rumble. They're having an official TNA match in the Rumble.
yeah,
The bell
and
rings,
frigging
and Bron
freaking
Breakker.
Dom pins him.
Oh my god, that'd be great. But Bron Breakker just grabs Kaz by the back of the head and throws him over the top rope. Would that then be like, well, you've lost?
Or it does that and then pins Hendry. Just like it's on it.
Oh my,
Just
Dom
take it off
stealing the
him
TNA
straight
world.
away.
Yeah, because that would technically be. Or would that be like,
Whoever's in the ring would be part of the match, wouldn't it? In
I
theory.
was gonna say, would that mean that by like proxy, the winner of the Rumble is TNA champ?
Oh, I don't know. Although
Because
that would be amazing.
I feel like if it was WWE and you know, let's say you're getting that thing where the WWE champ has declared himself for the Rumble so that when he wins, he doesn't face anyone at Mania, right? That's
Yeah,
the way they're gonna do that. So the champ is in the ring in the Rumble. Next number is Money in the Bank holder, and they cash in the Money in the Bank. That would automatically change
yeah,
that entire match to a title match.
yeah. Like they did with the Seth WrestleMania heist thing. That
Yeah,
was
so that would
it
turn
was
the
just two
Rumble
one on
into a
one.
yeah.
Yeah,
So that would turn the Rumble itself into a title match.
yeah. In theory,
So you'd have to cash in and throw everyone else out.
unless he unless he brought a TNA ref with him. It was like we're having this right. As soon as I pin, I'm gone. I'm not even going for the
Yeah.
Rumble. Pins him, rolls out the ring, and fucks off.
Or brings the TNA ref, cashes in the call
Yeah,
your shot, and just as the bell rings, security take Kaz and the ref out because they shouldn't be in the ring.
yeah.
And it's then recorded as the longest TNA match because it's still technically taking place until the next TNA tapings.
That's true. Yeah, yeah. That would be awesome.
Kind of like a
Um,
Matthew McGillicuddy, I'm still in the Rumble thing.
Axelmania.
Yeah, yeah,
That was it. You know how years ago they did that. They did the Royal Rumble that was 40 man that
yeah,
Del Rio won, didn't he?
yeah.
With them now having that TNA partnership, don't you think this is the right sort of year for them to just decide, you know what, 40 man Rumble?
I think with Raw, SmackDown, and NXT and sprinkling the TNA deal, there is no excuse for it not to be a 40-man Rumble. 30 women,
Yeah,
sure, I understand.
yeah.
But 40 men, I feel like should be the standard at this point.
Especially when like I saw a thing recently where people were comparing the amount of time that the amount of wrestlers that haven't had a match on AEW and WWE for weeks. And it's something like WWE have got 189 active wrestlers at the moment
Yeah.
across male and female divisions. But they shouldn't have any difficulty picking 40 names for a rumble.
No, they shouldn't. And
And
right now, let's say hypothetically, this Rumble coming up was announced as 40 man, right?
yeah,
You could easily do 10 Raw, 10 SmackDown, 10 NXT, 5 TNA, 5 Surprise.
yeah,
Or hell, even go like 12, 12, 8, 5, 5. Because I understand they're
yeah,
not going to want all these NXT people in the Rumble. I get that, right? So even if you have 5 from
yeah.
NXT, 15 Raw, no, that wouldn't work. Yeah, it would. 15 Raw, 15 SmackDown, 5 NXT, off, and then 3
Five
TNA,
surprise. No,
3 TNA, 2 surprises.
yeah.
Like, I get that. Because the surprises aren't how they used to be in
And
every Rumble anymore. So I get that.
there's not anyone really that can do a major comeback now, unless say Stone Cold decides he's having one last run,
Yeah.
or the Rock's in the Rumble, or that sort of thing. But like Edge and Christian both had that really good return, and now they're both in AEW, so they're not
Cope.
going to go. Yeah, the cope.
Cope.
Um, Obviously
Bring back
MVP
to
and Lashley.
Tanker.
Yeah, Tanker would be amazing.
Yeah.
Yes, just for him to have his have a shout, a scream off with
Yeah.
Tamatonga.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah, 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 yeah.
Yes, that's what I want to see. um, but yeah, it's been a great time. Time for WWE fans purely because, like I say, Rumble build's been great so far in the sense of they're mentioning it, but it's not the focus
Yes.
as such. It's guys like Sami Zayn, for example, I'll come back to that promo. It's like, yeah, I want to win the Rumble because I want to win the Rumble. Sounds. Now let's
Yeah.
move on to this deal with Kevin Owens, and you know what I mean. They're not. It's part of the promo because of the time of the year, so it should be, but it's not their focus. Like the Seth Punk and Drew stuff last week, which was a really really great talky intro for Raw last week.
Yeah,
I think
and
we
it was even better because there were no bracelets involved.
no bracelets involved, but I love the thing of. You know, one of the things that I've quite liked with how they've been using CM Punk in general is that they're doing the and with wrestlers overall as well, they're sort of shying away from they're not shying away from pointing out bits that are kind of borderline stupid with these sorts of things. So like CM Punk's out there and he's talking, and Seth Rollins comes out and he starts hitting himself in the head with a microphone. Like, oh god damn it,
Yeah.
I've got to deal with this guy again.
Yeah.
And then you actually hear him say, "For once, I
Why?
want it to be Rhea Ripley."
Yeah. Why is it always people I don't like? Why can't Rhea Ripley introduce me? Where's Rhea Ripley?
And then when they're arguing and Drew comes out, it's oh for fuck's sake, like, you get that sort of reaction. It's like, yeah,
Yeah.
great. I love that. That's the exact sort of thing I want on my wrestling. Like when you had, I know they did bits of it when Triple H first started doing the booking. You know when Vince was originally being investigated the other year and Trips
Yeah.
took over for a few months and it got and there was that big spike of stories getting better and all that. Like they started doing it there as well, where like someone would have lost their match and we come back from commercial and the next match would be starting with someone's theme, but they'd walk past the last guy to leave from the previous match and they'd have like a little nod or a fist bump or whatever. Do you know
Yeah.
what I mean? They'd show that crossover instead of just yeah, they've disappeared like
That's
that.
it.
And
They made it. They didn't make the segments feel seg.
organic.
Well, yeah,
Yeah,
they stopped the segments feeling segregated.
yeah.
It's like
It's
the what
like
we've had recently with the promos where they're talking and then like Jey Uso
you
is
can see
talking to the
someone else in the
camera.
background or
The people in the
yeah,
background, Jey Uso's talking to the camera, and then he turns through the door and his music hits. Like
yeah,
it's one organic thing. It's like everything. The backstage area is constantly alive and moving rather than all things only seem
yeah.
to be happening when there's a camera there.
Yeah, Jimmy did that, didn't he, on SmackDown?
Yeah,
Yeah, they had Big Jim walking around backstage yelling at the camera, and then
yeah,
it's just, oh, it's now cool like
yeah.
that. So, like, and they did it with JBL on Raw last night. He backstage talking to the New Day and everything, and it was immediately coming out for that. JBL
Which,
should be in the Rumble.
which I have to say, since JBL started appearing at like GCW and TNA, we said multiple times, oh, imagine if he's like technically there to harbor a deal between the two companies.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I hope they blame him. Do you know what I mean? I hope he gets the credit on screen.
Oh,
So,
absolutely, yeah. Fuck
and it
if
becomes
they're gonna go all in, say like for the next Survivor Series, and we literally get WWE versus TNA, have
yeah.
JBL be the guy behind Team TNA.
I'm hoping that we get another one of those. You know, we used to get the NXT Worlds Collide where it was NXT and then NXT
205
UK
live
or
and
West Pro or
all that stuff.
someone.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was usually on the day of WrestleMania, wasn't it? I'm hoping WrestleMania weekend we get Worlds Collide NXT TNA.
Or Bafemi just squashing
I think that
everybody.
that just kills everyone.
Everyone in like record time.
Yeah, I mean, I like the fact that we're going to get the Rascals versus Fraxium on
Yeah,
this the upcoming Impact.
Fraxium turning up at Genesis. Although Matt Hardy put an interview TikTok thing out where he said Fraxium will be seeing you very soon.
Yeah,
So
I'm hoping we
Hardy's
get a
at
champion
TNA
versus
would be
champion match.
huge.
Yeah,
I think we'll get a match. I don't
I
want it
think
for
this.
the titles.
Yeah,
Although the
I
Hardys being
think
NXT champs would also be kind of cool.
yeah. I think this is the year we get the Hardys in the Hall of Fame. I
Yeah,
think
without a doubt.
that's they've been talking about it a lot on things recently. I think Hardys and maybe Rhino for the WWE
Yeah.
Hall of Fame this year
Rhino
because
appearing at
Rhino's
TNA
left
not too long
TNA
ago. Has he?
and he's apparently his deal's run out.
Oh my God.
I saw a thing. Pardon?
Really? He's gone.
Yeah, apparently both Rhino and Jordan Grace's deals expired at the same time.
Do you know
I
how
saw
happy
that.
I got to see a TNA Rhino match before he left?
Man, I got to see two.
Yeah, but I saw mine in America. Fuck you.
that, that stream I was in Coventry.
Very different locations.
Very different, yeah. I did get that really pissed off picture of which I'm very proud of,
With
where I've
Rue.
got a photo of Ruben going up to him, going, "Hey, Ryder, can I have a photo?" And he's like, "Nah," because it was at the meet and greet thing. We had paid for it, but I've got a photo of it. It's great, yeah. But anyway, it's before. I think we've been going on about WWE a lot, and it's ended up being more of a Rumble preview than anything. But I think this is the longest episode we've done this year, so therefore we'll catch you all next time.